Let's go Dolphins! What if I told you the franchise is quietly preparing for one of the most dramatic offseasons in recent history? That key players might be on the chopping block, that a new management team is rewriting the entire plan, and that the Dolphins might be ready to part ways with their starting quarterback, even if it means a loss of nearly $100 million? Yes, this isn't just another coaching change. It's a complete identity shift, a masterstroke that could lead Miami to the Super Bowl, or sink the team into another decade of mediocrity. And the way it's unfolding, it's more intense than anything you've ever seen on Hard Knocks. So, before we go any further, if you're a true Dolphins fan, with aqua and orange blood running through your veins, click the like button right now. And let's make this personal. If you've been loyal to this team through the disappointments, the rebuilds, and the next year is our year talk, I want you to leave a comment saying, "Go Dolphins! We deserve a championship!" Now, let's dive into exactly what's happening behind the scenes. The Dolphins have officially entered a new era with the hiring of General Manager John Eric Sullivan and head coach Jeff Hafley. This front office duo, straight out of Green Bay, is here to flip the script, and it's already clear that they have zero intention of keeping things the way they've been. During the introductory press conference, Sullivan and Hafley dropped several bombshells that sent waves through the fan base. First off, Sullivan did not hold back when it came to Miami's cap situation. Let's be clear, the Dolphins are not in a healthy financial state, which means forget any hopes of flashy, big-money free agents this offseason. Don't expect to see names like Chris Godwin, Khalil Mack, or T. Higgins in aqua and orange. Sullivan made it crystal clear, the team is focused on stabilizing the cap, which likely means a lot of roster movement is on the way. That includes players being restructured, re-signed on team-friendly deals, or flat-out released to free up money. And then, there's the quarterback situation. This is where things take a massive turn. During the presser, Sullivan said he has a lot of respect for Tua but stopped way short of confirming him as the Dolphins' quarterback of the future. He was vague, calculated, and even admitted that he couldn't say what direction the team is heading until he's spoken directly to the player. Sounds diplomatic, right? But Adam Schefter made it way less subtle, reporting that there's a strong belief around the league that Tua Tagovailoa has played his last down for the Miami Dolphins. The only remaining question is how and when the team moves on from him. Think about that. We're not talking about a maybe. We're talking about timing. Are the Dolphins going to eat a $99 million dead cap hit all at once? Or are they going to spread it out over 2 years with a post-June 1 designation? Even more intriguing, could they be shopping Tua right now behind closed doors, trying to find a trade partner that makes financial sense? And that leads us right into the next critical piece of this overhaul, the search for a new offensive coordinator. If Hafley is going to call plays on defense, and he confirmed that he is, then whoever comes in to run the offense might just be the most important hire the Dolphins make this offseason. Adam Stenavich from the Packers has been floated as a top candidate, and there's buzz about names like Bobby Slowick, Brian Dable, and even Todd Monken being considered depending on availability. This isn't just about installing a new scheme. This is about identity. Hafley made it clear he wants to run the ball and be physical at the line of scrimmage. He wants an offense that doesn't back down, even when defenses know what's coming. If the Dolphins are serious about building a tough, playoff-ready team, they're going to need an offensive coordinator who can adapt to his personnel and stay committed to the run. Something Mike Mcdaniel talked about often but rarely stuck to. And if you're still thinking this is just about scheme, think again. Sullivan flat out said, "We are going to invest in the quarterback position every year if we can." That means drafting QBs even when it seems unnecessary, just to find the guy. That philosophy? It doesn't bode well for Tua. At all. In fact, it sounds like this new regime sees quarterback as a position of constant competition, not comfort. If you're Tua right now, you've got to be feeling the heat. Sullivan and Hafley are laying the groundwork for something much bigger than a simple retooling. They're talking about building the team from the trenches out, setting a foundation the right way. Think of it like building a Marvel Cinematic Universe. You don't just throw everything together. You start with Iron Man. Then you bring in Captain America. Then Thor. Then you build to the Avengers. Miami, for once, is actually building this thing the right way. Jeff Hafley also shared an intriguing story. He was in a South Florida hotel with his wife, getting calls from multiple teams and owners while waiting for his interview with the Dolphins. He even had a private plane waiting to fly him out to Tennessee if Miami didn't hire him that day. That's how in demand he was. And that's how close the Dolphins came to missing out. The fact that they locked him down, when so many others were after him, says a lot about what this franchise is trying to become. But here's where things get complicated. Hafley's words are strong. He's talking about toughness, mental and physical. About coaching players hard, earning their trust, and not being afraid to demand accountability. It's a refreshing contrast to what many felt was a more laid-back, player-friendly approach under Mcdaniel. But words are one thing, execution is another. We've heard great things before. Will this new regime finally walk the walk? The uncertainty swirling around Tua Tagovailoa is just one piece of the puzzle, but make no mistake, it's the centerpiece of Miami's offseason drama. The silence from Sullivan and Hafley about Tua's future isn't just respectful diplomacy, it's strategic ambiguity. Every GM and head coach knows you don't tip your hand before making major moves, especially when it involves your quarterback. And this new leadership group? They've got the poker faces to match their plan. But the smoke around Tua's exit is thick, and where there's smoke in this league, there's usually fire. Remember, the Dolphins picked up Tua's fifth-year option. That decision locked in a nearly $23 million cap hit, guaranteed. So moving on from him now isn't just emotional, it's financial warfare. The only thing more expensive than sticking with a quarterback who's not the guy is dumping one and taking a massive cap hit. But here's the wild part, it sounds like the Dolphins are ready to take that hit. Whether it's the full $99 million dead cap in one painful swoop or spreading it over 2 years, the new regime seems more concerned with building their own vision than holding on to past commitments. And you can feel that shift all across the organization. During the press conference, Hafley didn't just speak like a head coach, he spoke like a culture enforcer. Gone are the days of the rah-rah, let's be friends coaching vibe. Hafley is here to coach hard, demand accountability, and build mental and physical toughness into the DNA of this team. He made it clear, it's about foundation, not flash. This isn't just a coaching change, it's a culture reset. Even on the personnel side, Sullivan showed he's thinking long-term. He made a critical point. You don't wait until you need a quarterback to start looking for one. You keep drafting, you keep developing, and when you hit big. And when you don't, you reload and try again. That's how you build sustainable success. It's the anti-Miami way, and exactly what the franchise has lacked for decades. That's why the offensive coordinator hire is such a big deal. Hafley confirmed he'll be calling plays on defense, so whoever gets the OC job will effectively be the head coach of the offense. That role isn't just about drawing up plays, it's about developing a system, grooming a quarterback, managing the game, and creating an identity. If Hafley and Sullivan get this hire wrong, the team could spiral. If they get it right, they could set the franchise up for years of consistency and success. So who's the front runner? Adam Stenavich from Green Bay has ties to Hafley and Sullivan, and while he didn't call plays under LaFleur, his offensive background fits the mold of what Hafley wants: run first, physical, adaptable. But again, that hire has to be perfect. Hafley said he wants his offense to be able to run the ball even when the defense knows it's coming. That's not just a philosophy, that's a statement of intent. That's what winning teams do in January. That's how you survive the playoffs and how you protect a young quarterback, if that's the direction they go. And they will go in that direction. The Dolphins have already signaled that they're likely to draft a quarterback this year. Not necessarily in the first round, but with 3 third-round picks. Don't be surprised if they take a swing. Sullivan even said it himself. If you hit on 2, you have trade value. It's about creating depth and competition at the most important position in sports. Something Miami has failed to do for years. Let's not forget how this all unfolded. Mike McDaniel didn't just walk out the door. He was pushed. And not because he was a bad coach, but because too many GMs during the hiring process made it clear they wanted to bring in their own guy. The Dolphins listened. They prioritized the GM hire over keeping the status quo. That's bold, and it signals that ownership is finally willing to tear down what's not working instead of doubling down on it. Even behind the scenes, the dynamics are shifting. Sullivan and team CEO Danny Silman are reportedly in constant communication, speaking multiple times a day. That's not just a working relationship. That's alignment. That's planning. That's how you steer a franchise in one direction. And given Silman is set to eventually take over for Stephen Ross, this could be the beginning of a power transition at the top. One that might finally bring consistent vision to a franchise that has lacked it for far too long. Let's also talk about Hafley's loyalty and drive. He was courted by multiple NFL teams during his interview process, with owners and execs calling him, trying to pull him out of his Miami interview and fly him straight to Tennessee. But he stayed. He waited. He trusted the Dolphins, and they trusted him back. That mutual commitment could be the foundation of something truly different in South Florida. But let's not pretend it's all smooth sailing from here. Talk is cheap. Every coach and